departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the headquarters of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAAN, to Lagos has set tongue wagging, thus its headline in the media, though opinions regarding this move vary. So this morning, welcome back. This morning, taking a look at the relocation of FAAN and CBN to Lagos from Abuja, and the situation has also generated into a lot of discourse nationally. And today, we're taking a look at the economic benefit of that relocation to Lagos. And I have in the studio with me to just to read, I have Mr. Henry Olonimoyo, a financial analyst. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. What's your opinion about this relocation of these two institutions to Lagos?
Yes, so let me say that firstly, the Central Bank of Nigeria moving some sections of its operations to Lagos is a welcome idea. We have had the former governor of CBN, Sammy Lamido Sanusi, who had commented about it and said that it was long overdue. That and then some of the people who had inside information about what was obtainable in the CBN has said that the head office in Abuja is overcrowded already, and that moving those sections of the operations to Lagos, number one, would congest the place. Number two, also because Lagos is an economic hub of Nigeria, and most of the oversight activities of the CBN will be operated in Lagos. For instance, I can tell you that most of the banks in Nigeria have their headquarters domiciled in Lagos. And these are the banks, deposit money banks, that the CBN is supposed to regulate and have oversight upon. And so it makes a lot of sense for those sections of the CBN that has to do with oversight and regulating this bank to be present in those places. Number one, it reduces cost. It makes it possible for them to do their job. You also know that part of what we are facing as a nation now is that some of these deposit money banks are engaging in underhand activities that are probably pulling back the progressive hands of the nation's economy. And so CBN must wake up.
Does it mean that CBN can also monitor from Abuja?
It's a tall order, for instance, and I must explain. You know, if a civil servant is supposed to go to Lagos to carry out an assignment, he gets this allowance, digital allowance, that allowance, he gets money for flight, he gets money for accommodation, he's going to operate there for 7 days, for a month. All of these things are all bearing on the nation. So instead of him crisscrossing between Abuja and Lagos, why don't we ensure that his office and his base is in Lagos?
We have also put into consideration the staff of the CBN who also need to relocate from Lagos.
Exactly, because if you know that this is not the job description, if you want to still continue, you continue. If you don't want, you resign. And I tell you that there are a lot of Nigerians who will be wishing that they had that kind of job, because the president now is saying, and everybody agrees, that we should reduce the cost of governance. And in line with that, it makes a lot of sense also to ensure that if moving these sections of the CBN to Lagos will guarantee efficiency of the CBN, will help them to operate as they should, then why shouldn't we do that? Also, you also don't forget that we have been clamoring for restructuring. And you know, if we cannot embrace wholesale restructuring, why don't we do it piecemeal? And I think what you have with the CBN is a form of restructuring, ensuring that the people who need to do something are close to where they need to check, and not just centralize everything.
Well, there's a political coloration into that. We'll get to that, but let's take a look at what's also happening to FAAN. That's Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. Its headquarters has also moved from Abuja to Lagos.
For me, it makes a lot of sense. The largest airport in Nigeria is the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. Is the BCS also. And Lagos is we have to finally formalize it that Lagos is the economic capital or financial capital of Nigeria. We have other countries who are doing it. We have Lagos, New York City. We have US, New York City. You have Germany, Frankfurt, which is different from Berlin. You have Shanghai for China, and which is not the Beijing. You have even South Africa has about three capitals, different from Johannesburg, which is the financial capital. South Africa has Pretoria, Cape Town, and Bloemfontein for its administrative, legislative, and judicial capital. And it has Johannesburg has its financial capital. So we have to really make it, because we are talking of economy now. We are talking of ensuring that the country moves forward. And if Lagos is the busiest airport, houses the busiest airport in Nigeria, and the largest airport in Nigeria, it makes a lot of sense for Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria that is regulating the activities of the airports to have its base in Lagos. And I need to let you know that even before all of this transfer is happening, a lot of the activities of people working in FAAN has been in Lagos. So you see them take duty to allowances, take money from the ports and say, oh, we are taking flights to Lagos, get money for accommodation in Lagos. That has been happening. So instead of incurring all of those numerous costs, why don't we move it? It's the same thing at the CBN. Why don't we move to Lagos so that we can be near and be close to where the action is taking place?
Well, when you take a look at the departments in the CBN, we have 29 of them, and just 5 amongst Lagos. We have this banking supervision.
Yeah.
We have other financial institutions supervision. We also have consumer protection department, payment system management department, and financial policy regulation department. Just 5 out of 29 departments that we have in CBN.
Yes. So for me,
and still endorsed.
That's why I said I don't understand why the CBN moving just 5 of its operations to Lagos. I don't understand why it should be a problem. As a matter of fact, if there are activities or operations of the CBN that needed to be test run as a microcosm of what Nigeria would be, Lagos is one of the best places to test run the hub, the busy. If you can test run a program and it operates in Lagos, it can work anywhere else in the country. I mean, the currency design that happened and the rest and so on. If the CBN is also working, it's still progressing on its cashless policy program. If it's working in Lagos, it's only a matter of time before it starts to work in other parts of the country. So for me, it makes a lot of sense, because see, as it is now in the country, we must forget sentiments. We must not bring regionalism into it. North, south. Yes.
Why is it now?
Yes, because now a lot of people are now saying now that, oh, we are taking it away from the north. I say Abuja is not north. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. It's not north. You also recall that the capital of Nigeria used to be in Lagos before, and when it was transferred from Lagos to Abuja, nobody raised us and complained.
When you take a look at the reason CBN was also taken to Abuja in the first place, was that Lagos was also a coastal area where it will also be easy for the criminals to attack CBN.
That's why I said, and of course it doesn't really mean there are some countries that the entire country is a coast nation, and that doesn't mean that they won't have what. But what is most important, the seat of power is in Abuja. The parliament, the National Assembly is in Abuja. I don't think anybody should be threatened that moving just 5 sections of CBN's operations to Lagos will be a problem. Because you see, economy, when it begins to bite hard, it doesn't know the north, different from the southern. It doesn't know the Christian, different from the Muslim. All we want is, if this is what will make the things work, then why not? We embrace it wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Somebody have also said that Lagos is the 19th best city in the world, according to the latest reports of the world's 50 best cities. It is based on the Time Out Index, created for a survey of more than 20,000 cities.
Yeah.
Would you say that because it's also... So,
you know, it's a part of it. And I think...
I've also read the justifications here and then why the relocation is also important and compulsory. So for Lagos State to have been the 19th best city in the world, does that also mean that the CBN headquarters, I mean, the department should also be
It's justified. For me, it's well justified, because see, you look at Brazil, for instance. The capital city of Brazil is Brasilia. It was Rio de Janeiro before. But the financial capital of Brazil is Sao Paulo. And so, in fact, it's about time in Nigeria that we started marking out these things. Let Lagos be the economic and financial capital of the country. let each of the regions also have their economic capitals also. I mean, let Kano be the economic hub of the north, such that if there are any regional integration going on among the northern states, that they can domicile it in Kano. The east also should have theirs also. That way, we will be seen as a country that is serious, that knows what it's doing. When investors are coming out their head, going to all the way to Abuja towers to get things, they just head straight to Lagos. It makes a lot of sense, and that's why some of the things that's part of what complements the ease of doing business that we claim we are in support of. If I know that Lagos is where I have my investment in, I go straight to Lagos. I get whatever I need to get done while in Lagos. Not again crisscrossing Lagos to Abuja, and then one director who says until he's able to make his slide from Abuja. The time for restructuring has come. And you know one thing? Whether we embrace it or not, necessity will demand as we approach it to begin to do restructuring. Either we embrace it in an wholesale form or we embrace it piecemeal. Restructuring, when the time of restructuring comes, nobody can fight against it.
When you take a look at the position of government as regards the relocation, the government is also saying that it's to mitigate the impact of inflation on citizens through its initiatives like the students' loan and also various loan interest loan scheme for businesses. That's the position of the government as regards that. Would you say that's also strong enough for government to have also relocated that department of CBN from Abuja?
That's why I said, how many industries are in Abuja? That's the question. How many of these of the market of contributing to the GDP and the growth of the country have been inside in Abuja? Most of them are in Lagos. And so look at how busy, look at the international traffic to Lagos. So it makes a lot of sense if the government aspect that should make investment operate, that should regulate this, it makes a lot of sense if they are in Lagos, and then people can know that for things around your financial issues, investment issues, you go to Lagos. It makes a lot of sense. And when you're talking about the political issues as far as administration of the country, you head to Abuja. That makes a lot of sense. So for me, it's perfect. But you see, we must not give room for people who want to score political points over every issue. So some people just wake up all of a sudden and they want to become the mouthpiece of the North. And I tell you, in the last months, we have had attacks against places in Plateau State again and again. And we have not had these people come out and say, oh, Northerners are being killed. So why all of a sudden now, when something is being done in the best interest of the country, some people are now beginning to say, no, sir, it makes no sense. If Lagos is suitable for this, again, you also know, despite the fact that we made Abuja our capital, all these banks still put their headquarters in Lagos. There's a reason why they are doing that. And so, if they see that Lagos makes more sense for them, why can't we also, as government, do what makes sense?
So if you are justifying this location because most of the banks have their headquarters in Lagos, would you also agitate that the Navy and the Nigerian Port Authority should also be moved to Niger Delta?
Yeah. Now, thank you. And we are making a lot of sense here. You see, I've said it, restructuring has come to stay. And it's about time we embraced it wholeheartedly. There are some things that are not necessary. I'll come back to the Niger Delta issue. You look at whenever the Super Eagles want to play football match and we say, oh, it has to be in Abuja, it has to be in Abuja. Sometimes it's not necessary. If where we have the number of fans that will come and be lively and will make things easy, if it is in Lagos, let's take it to Lagos. There was a time we're doing it, they're playing in Uyo. If it's in Uyo, let's do it in Uyo. And as far as the naval issue is concerned, maybe he's doing in Abuja, if you are being sincere. If you are being sincere, the coast, there's no coastline in Abuja. The coastline is in Lagos, all across the creeks. That is even where the oil of the country is, the economic base of the country is. So it makes a lot of sense to ensure that the people who will safeguard the safety of these things should be along those areas. So for me, the time has come for us to begin to do what is right. If the naval base remains in Abuja, what benefit does it have to me? What is there any special salary that is being paid to a northerner because the naval base is in Abuja? It makes no sense. Let's do what is right. And That instruction we're talking about, that you cannot just concentrate everything in Abuja. Somebody stays in Abuja is planning agricultural program for us in Ondo State here. How is he able to do it? You want to do cocoa revolution? It should not be in Abuja. Bring it to the southwest. Bring it to Ondo State, where you have cocoa farms, cocoa plantation. It makes sense like that. And if we keep doing like that, what we start seeing efficiency. We now start seeing, and if there's anything that should be put in the north, in the heart of the north, we take it there. That way, corruption will lessen. Somebody will not sit in Abuja and be writing budget for a place that he has never been to or will never get to. That way, the country will move forward, and that's why for me, I'm in support of it. I don't think we should mind the people who are just trying to.
In what way will it also affect our economy?
A lot. Firstly, cost of operations will also drop. It makes the cost of operation will drop because duty to allowances, taking flights here and there, the efficiency. I must tell you, a lot of things are going on in the deposit money banks. Remember that there was this particular time that the governor of Central Bank and Sanusi had to off banks in Nigeria and discovered that an alarming percentage of the banks in Nigeria